les danseuses du Moulin Rouge.
Merci beaucoup.
Parfait. Sublime.
Doggy style.
I heard doggy style in your trailer, but I don't know what that means. Can you show me? If we imagine that the person is a dog and they're down on all fours like that, the idea of someone pushing a wheelbarrow behind them, and the rest is your imagination. The little guy has inherited a solvents industry fortune. He's looking to get a new advertising agency involved in making solvents look sexy. And he meets Nat, Rose's character, at her advertising agency at a business meeting, and you know it's sort of set up in the story that he's most possibly going to be an American that's obsessed with how quaint the English are and impersonate their accents and do an Austin Powers impersonation, etc. And I overhear this conversation. I don't want to give it away, but basically I play right into that gag, and then it's revealed that I'm not actually what they obviously expected I was. I read it and I thought it was one of the funniest scripts I've ever read. There was about 3 times as many jokes in the script that they could even fit.
How do you say that? Can you say that?
Das hält kein Jahr.
Das hält. Say it again. You're filming all of this?
Probably one of the more sophisticated characters. There's a flip on it. And in the film we sort of set him up as a caricature in the beginning and flip that and sort of take the piss out of him at the same time, which I thought was pretty bold for Dan to do. It's sort of a cultural rule in the UK. It's like it doesn't matter how much of it sort of a twat you make of yourself, as long as you're funny. If you're funny, it's okay. You know, you can be the biggest arsehole in the world, but if it's funny, it's all right. You know, you can get away with it.
South by Southwest with Simon Baker. Great to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too. I would say it's different tonally, but there's still obviously a lot of gags, and it's very funny.
Because there was a lot of improv, wasn't there? I heard.
Yeah.
Was there sort of, because you come across to me as like quite a gentleman.
Right.
Did any of the humor? Did you go? No, I'm not. I can't go there. Because
No.
it's pretty. He can be pretty raunchy, right?
Yeah. And there's certainly some stuff that didn't make it into the movie.
It would have been X-rated.
That was very, very graphic. I do play the more civilized character in the piece, and
And in the beginning, you're led to believe that you're like this obnoxious American.
yeah.
So can you give me your favorite American, in an American accent, your favorite American expression?
My favorite, or my favorite by the fact that it is my least favorite.
That's exactly what I'm looking for.
The thing that always confuses me is when you say thank you to anyone in America, they go, mm-hmm. Or this business is pretty interesting.
There you go.
You know, that is so not where I'm from in my life.
Well, what do blokes
But
do
now
in
I
Australia?
do it. Now I do it because my
You
kids
fist
do
bump?
it. My wife and I even do it every now and then. It's like, what has happened to me?
Are you rolling? I'll interview you. You ready?
Yes, I was pleasantly surprised by the movie. As I said.
Well, you weren't expecting. What were you expecting?
No,
Thought it was more of a chick flick.
Yeah, that's what.
Were you surprised by that?
I was very surprised by that.
So you don't think it's a chick flick, or do you think this is a movie that men and women could
I
see?
think both.
Did you laugh your ass off?
I laughed my ass off.
Good. I enjoyed playing the straight man. You know, a lot of times when I work on The Mentalist, I'm in the middle of things, always generating the jokes, and you know, it was nice to be a character that is sort of more on the periphery and reacting to the jokes, or not reacting to the jokes because he was a straight man. What's confusing when you say it like that? I'm getting confused. No, it was fun. It was fun because I think I've lived in America for the last 15 years, and you know, and I like living there. It's a great place to live. So I have an outsider's perspective of watching Americans. The only scene that I improvised in was the first scene in the office, when my character comes in and he does the sort of sends himself up as an American. He does the cliche American thing. That's the only scene that I improvised in. First of all, I think that the British do these sort of irreverent comedies very well. And I don't think you can go
into a script or a story like this tentatively. For the story to work, it has to be, you have to commit. All of those things, but slightly, I think it was important that he's a bit off. He's not sort of completely perfect. He's a little bit
Twisted.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a twist there that's off. But I think that's the tone of the film. Well, I met him in Los Angeles. He came into town, sent me the script. He came into town. I read the script. I really enjoyed it. And he was in town for 1 or 2 nights to meet. I met with him. We got on very well. He's a lovely guy, very warm, very generous of spirit. We sat down together. I really liked his take on the American character in the British film, because so often the American character is the one that's sort of often made fun of.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say this in front of Dan, but it was one of the funniest scripts I'd read. And I
went from the funniest to one of.
Yeah. Probably the 17th funniest out of probably 500 romantic comedies that I read. Just outside of 15. Outside of my top 15, but I didn't get those parts. And when I met with Dan, he, I talked to him about it. I said, mate, there's probably, I don't think you'll be able to get all these jokes in the movie because it's going to be about 5 hours long. And he didn't.
You're right.
Like I said, I'm not American, so to try to play that little kind of cultural difference in humor between the two is everyone else is having a blast, and you're the guy that's sort of got to hold steady while all this shenanigans is going on is a little bit of a challenge, and it's actually not as much fun because you've got to kind of be the stick in the mud in a lot of ways.
I'm sorry.
That's Dan's fault, completely. I want him to feel a little more guilty. We chatted a bit about, playing the American character, and what really drew me to it originally was all of the cliches that you've seen in romantic comedies. That it's sort of it's a pretty well-worn path, the romantic comedy as a genre, where all of those boxes were ticked, but they were all flipped on their ear in this film. It's the sort of the anti-romantic comedy version of a romantic comedy, but it's still romantic. And the American character, which is always generally the obnoxious, loud, crass, unsophisticated character, happens to be sort of the more sophisticated character in the piece. Rafe, sorry. Yeah. To a degree, we all.
Am I right in thinking you did a Hitchcock on Rose, though? In the fact that she was properly terrified of the birds.
But the amazing thing about it was, I sent her the script. She'd read the script. There wasn't any surprise. It says, Nat is surrounded by doves. Doves fly around her face. And at no point did she think to tell us, I'm absolutely petrified of birds.
And it didn't get better.
Thought about it, yeah.
Really?
We shot that for, was it a whole day or 2 days?
2 days.
It didn't get better.
Yeah. I mean,
From the
honestly,
first take to the last take, it was worse. It got worse. I mean, it was to the point where the whole crew was so used to doves and dove shit everywhere. But Rose was still action. Starting to cry in takes almost.
Tears, that's your tears.
And I look over to Dan at the monitors and he'd just be like, let's go again.
And you're amazing, okay? Because it's a really, from your point of view, it's a really
I
emotional
don't like
scene.
birds either. They're kind of disgusting. They're like flying rats, but I had 2 days on it. Well, I mean, it's a little bit like flying with someone that hates flying.
Yeah.
If you sort of hit turbulence and go like that, it sends them completely. So I didn't really like the doves either, to be honest. But if I showed any sort of weariness or fear at all, then she would have left.
Yeah.
I mean, she was that on the edge the whole time.
And we'd pay for the doves.
So anyway,
I don't think you developed
consequently,
it. I think deep down you had it all.
I think I just had it all along, and I was literally physically hijacked when I did the movie, and it was like a weird acting exercise of trying to perform a scene while being completely And meanwhile, this guy had doves like landing on his head,
I mean,
and he didn't
generally-
flinch. He didn't flinch. He just was
Well,
like
and listen,
laser focused.
Well, if she was already like running scared, if I'd have gone, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
My wife's a nervous flyer. If I get nervous at all on a plane, she's like off out the door.
Well, you had good
Yeah,
training.
And she would
You
have
had
been the
good
same. So
training.
what was I going to do? When normally when you're acting, there's a sort of a sense of entrapment anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you've got to be here, and you got to make out with this person. Sometimes it's not so bad, and you're going to do it a few times, and we're all going to watch, and we're all going to shoot it. I was totally caught on that door. And you got to do it here on this mark and hit this light and that sort of business, right? There's a sense of entrapment there. You do that, and then put 3 sort of doves in a room with a crew. Then it gets a, you know.
Yeah.
You want to cover your eyes.
I'm sure it's very.
Everyone's seen The Omen. Right?